you're listening to the Mackay T Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Brian Mackay and T Davis.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. Whew. Once again, we have taken an impromptu break that was totally unintentional. First of all, it started off me in my mind thinking we were taking a Labor Day break, but I was taking a Labor Day break 1 week too early.
Amen. Amen. I was like, okay. I said, well,
so yeah.
Okay.
So and people that were here for our last show, they heard me say that we were taking a break for Labor Day, and we will be back, the next week or whatever. Well, it was a week too early, so we wound up taking 2 weeks. And then on a somber note, I had a friend pass away, a very close friend, passed away to the Delta variant of COVID-19. She was in the hospital for probably almost 2 months. So I'm trying not to get too emotional. I spoke at her funeral last week, so I just been kind of coasting since then. She was hospital probably almost 2 months, on the ventilator for a whole month by herself in ICU, and just it was time. I mean, it wasn't any situation where they took her off the ventilator. That's what I feared, because there's such a ventilator shortage, especially in my area right now, that I figured that they kind of like forced the family to take her off, but that wasn't the case. She went on her own. So, but yeah, so that's been kind of an emotional time. I thought I was ready to come back last week, but then Monday got here and I just emailed T. I was like, I can't do it this week. We got to have one more week. But yeah, Mary, my friend that passed away, she was a good one. She a high school basketball coach, loved the game of basketball. She and I grew up together. We shared that love of basketball. We bonded over that. She played her and her twin sister Martha both played basketball for my dad, who was high school coach here where I'm from.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah, for over 30 years. He coached both of them, and he tells a story about how when they first started out playing basketball, they were the two worst players on the court. And he tells people all the time, I got real close to telling Brian to stop bringing his friends to practice because they're messing up the drill that we try to run.
Oh, Lord.
And so, yeah, fast forward to Mary's funeral service. I told that exact joke to start off, and the whole room just exploded in laughter because, they all know Mary and Martha. They may not have known how bad they were when they started, but they know by the time they finished high school, Mary was the MVP of the team, and Martha was right there, making all district and things like that. But yeah, Mary had a big time love of professional wrestling. She loved Bret Hart. For anyone who knows WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it, and knows who Bret the Hitman Hart is. I was in charge of doing the highlight film or slideshow, whatever you want to call it, for the memorial service, and we put the clip in there the first time she met Bret Hart at a autograph signing at a WrestleMania, and the smile and the joy in her face, because Mary was not a Eeyore type of person, but she wasn't the one that's gonna smile all the time. Now, she just wasn't that way. But the joy in her face when she was meeting Bret Hart, it was just and she was probably in her late 20s at that time, and she looked like a little kid. She was so happy, and so and she's also the type, and T will know this because me and T had this bonding as well. She was also the type that I could have a whole conversation with and use nothing but movie quotes, and that's as the sign of real friendship with me because T and I are that same way. Um, yeah,
Can I just say,
yeah.
no disrespect to the ancestor, but Earlene, I was so dumb when I saw that. I said, Earlene, what is happening? Her dad named Earl.
Yeah, Mary Erlene Bradley and her.
What was her dad named Earl? Because
I,
otherwise, no.
no, her dad. Uh,
Oh, I was hoping that was why.
see, there's a daddy and there's a father. Now,
Either way, it don't matter whoever it was, just somebody named Earl. That was all I was hoping for.
their
Because
mother's
Earlene, I
name,
was like, Earlene, like that's like a old person name. Go
their
ahead, I'm
mother's
sorry.
name is Eldraine. So I don't know if that has
Oh
something to do with.
Lord, I ain't never. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but Martha told a story at the funeral when she got up and spoke, and she said that because their brother's name is Lonnie. Now, Mary and Martha are, everybody assumes it's from the Bible and it's the biblical of it.
Well, it's an easy, yeah,
Well,
it's an
she
easy
told a story.
transition.
She told a story at the funeral, and I've heard this story before, but people would ask, I mean, are those, the Mary and Martha from the Bible? Is that where it is? And she said, yeah, and here's our brother Lazarus.
Oh Lord, you should name it Lazarus. His
So
middle name should have been Lazarus. That'd have been hilarious.
that would have been hilarious. But yeah, Lonnie,
Lonnie Lazarus.
he's
You could have worked it.
I think he's like 10 years older than them. So there's a nice age gap in
Oh well,
between.
he came before, so that wasn't gonna work.
Right.
They wouldn't
But
have. Yeah, they wouldn't have known the twins was coming.
so yeah, but no, they got up there together just in case Martha couldn't go through and get through with it. But Lonnie was not he was not in any kind of state to speak. But they had a good chuckle at that. That was pretty funny. I know I ended my speech because it took me a while to even like really process and kind of have any kind of emotion of awe about it. And I ended my speech telling this story about when the first time I actually cried was, and I was telling people, I was at Martha's house. It was probably almost a week before the funeral. We were putting together pictures for the slideshow, and me and Martha and Mary's friend Leanne, we were there. We were putting a slideshow, getting the pictures together, and it got to be about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we had some nights like that, during this because Martha was just so distraught. You'd be on the phone with her to whatever, or you'd be right there with her at the house, whatever you had to do. Um, we were. It got to be about 1:30, and I was getting ready to go, packing up my stuff. Well, Martha's little girl, uh, Ariel, who just turned 1, woke up, and she and I she don't know that she loves me just yet. So
Uh, uh,
we ain't come to an understanding on that just yet. But the other factor on this particular evening is she had just woken up, so she was a little cranky, and I didn't take no offense to it. She didn't come to me. She don't want nothing to do with me. She's holding on to her mama, this, that, and other. Well, on the way out the door, I feel something pushing in my back, and
oh, she trying to get you out.
Martha started chuckling, which first time I've heard Martha laugh during this whole process. Martha started chuckling, saying, Ariel, stop pushing him out the door.
Lord have
She
mercy.
was
That's
pushing me
hilarious.
out the door. So this is the other part of the story. I was telling the crowd, I was telling people at the funeral that Mary was the type of person that if something like that happened, I would want to immediately call and tell them about it. Like it was something that happened at Ole Miss when I was in school. I would
Right.
call her. And it could be 3 o'clock in the morning. It could be 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Mary would answer. It didn't matter. She always would answer. And so I get in my car. I'm laughing. I'm pulling out the driveway, getting down the street. pick up my phone, scroll to my favorites list, and I'm just about to hit the button with my thumb, and I realized who I was about to call, and I just busted into tears. I cried all the way home. It was, boohoo crying, and
But
yeah.
Brian, it's enough of this sadness. I don't want to cut off your morning time.
No,
This did,
that
and,
was that was the end of that because I'm fixing to turn it right back around with something real funny. And I
because hold
told
on, I
you,
want to share my part of this. He sends me the picture video. It's like, you gonna know somebody, and I was like, I don't know how, but okay. So I click it, and I was like, okay, Earlene. I was like, okay, Earlene. I was distracted by that, and then I kept watching, and I was like, okay, this sad. I don't even know this person, but it's sad because they ain't here and they look like they was fun. So then I was skipping forward, I was skipping around. I was like, I don't know anybody in these pictures. I saw a picture with you. And was it you and your dad or something at a game or something, maybe? I was like, I don't know what Brian's talking about. I kept skipping forward. I was like, okay, Brian, you tripping. I don't know. I don't know who you thought I was gonna know in there besides you, but I was
me.
like, don't
That's what I was talking about. Me and then the
don't
family. If
don't send me
see,
no more sad videos of somebody I don't know because it's just
there's
sad.
there's
Thank you.
one picture of me and me, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister. We're all younger because I was in high school, and my brother and sister were probably middle school age or right out of elementary. So, but we're standing there with Mary and Martha at Six Flags because they were on a trip and with their senior class, and my dad was a chaperone for the trip. So he just brought our entire family with us. So we're at Six Flags with Mary and Martha on their senior trip, and I was like, I don't know, T's gonna. You'll see me a couple of times throughout there, but I wanted you to actually see that one picture of us at Six Flags.
And that's when I realized how long you had knew them because I
Mhm.
wasn't sure. I knew you had known them a while, but I wasn't sure. And then I was like, oh, he been
Yeah,
knowing them forever.
I moved to the city that I'm living in now. I moved there and went to the school. The place I was finished school when I was in the 7th grade, and that's when I met Mary and Martha.
Oh, okay.
So I've known them since then.
Okay. Since 7th grade. Okay.
Yes,
Well, yeah.
but
Okay. What's the funny
yeah,
story?
and I
Oh,
told T this was coming.
cause
She
they right
doesn't know
here.
what it is because I
I
wanted to get
don't.
her natural reaction. The Emmys was last night,
Lord, who knew? I ain't had no idea. Okay, go
and
ahead.
the running joke right now is that I'm an Emmy nominated producer, and
Oh yeah.
our category for what we're nominated for doesn't start till next year.
Oh Lord,
I
have
found out
mercy.
last night.
What?
And I said, oh my God, I've been telling people on the podcast and anybody that would
Wait
listen
a
that I'm
minute.
an Emmy nominated producer and the category ain't even until next year.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So
Who?
I am still we are still nominated, but it won't take effect until the category comes into the Emmys next year.
That makes no sense for that to even be. Okay, I don't want to just. That's just stupid. I,
that's
how you gonna nominate somebody for something that ain't gonna be? Uh, that's just stupid.
that's why I wanted to get your natural reaction.
Oh mercy! I didn't even know the Emmys was last night. Who won something that I
Ted
might know?
Lasso. Ted Lasso won a bunch of stuff. Ted Lasso is hilarious for
Who,
people who
let me see.
watch that on
Ted.
Apple TV Plus. Uh, Jason Sudeikis, this was the role built for him. They won just about everything comedy wise. The Crown keeps rolling. I haven't watched The Crown past season 3. I think it was the season where Diana had just come into the picture over there, and I hadn't got to that yet. I don't know what made me stop. I guess I just
Did Michael K.
I wasn't
Williams win
into it.
something?
Huh?
Did Michael K. Williams win something?
He was nominated for a couple of things. He
I knew
didn't.
that part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't win.
Okay.
Lovecraft Country did not do as well. I think I don't know why, but just like Marvel, the Marvel TV shows, I knew they wasn't going. They got nominated for a bunch of stuff, and I knew they wasn't going to. I thought maybe they'd win for like production, maybe, but I knew like the individuals. Like when I saw Catherine Hahn and all them, up there for individual awards, I was like, they're not gonna win because the Academy just don't respect uh, comic book movies and TV shows. But yeah, Michael K. Williams, and I had forgotten even that he had that role in Lovecraft Country because it's been so long since I've seen it, and now that they only had the one season.
I don't care. I know that I don't know nothing about Mart and Easttown, but I know one division should have won, and I don't care
Right.
about all the rest of this.
But I
Anyway,
forgot he was in that, and then Kerry Washington was the one who presented the the one. I don't know if he was in. I just watched it a little bit, but the one that he was nominated in that I saw for Lovecraft Country. And before she called out the nominees, she gave him a good little shout out and nice. Basically gave him his flowers, gave him his own award, before she called out the nominees and he didn't win.
Elizabeth Olsen. Okay, I know what you just said about that, but one division, I don't know. I ain't seen these other ones, but she did that. You would have got a Timmy, Elizabeth. If somebody know you, tell her she. I'm gonna come up with my own award. I'm gonna give out the Timmys.
We should, because we definitely see things a lot differently than the Academy. No offense,
Yeah,
Academy, because next year I'm gonna
it,
need
it
you.
is offense.
Look,
It's the
look. Next
same
year I'm
old
gonna need
white
y'all to come
men.
through.
Maybe the old white men that's out here that don't know nothing giving out these awards. We're gonna come out with the Timmys.
The Timmys. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so there's that. One of the, as I bring it, look, they say you bring it up and then you take it down.
The Crown. I, don't nobody
I
care
promise.
about what they doing over there in England.
I tried to watch it. It's like, I guess maybe because I know, the whole history. Because they act like, we should care about everything that goes on with that royal family.
Right.
So
Nobody.
yeah, and obviously
Okay.
because people watch it, so they have a fan base and whatever. But
And half of that ain't probably. I'm gonna say more than half. 75% of it ain't true. They just giving you their lens of it, and people take it as the truth.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Well, one division, you get a Timmy. We're gonna work on it. If the Emmys can have this fake award out here in nominations, and then they ain't gonna even give it out to 2022, well, we can work on our Timmys.
oh goodness, so yeah, there's that. Uh, and people, I apologize. We're gonna be all over the place probably today. So if I don't have the timestamps like I usually do at the bottom of the episode, I'll be back with that next week. Just so if I bounce around. But I do want to talk about college football only because selfishly, my
Yeah,
Rebels 3-0, and we are rolling.
yeah,
We're,
y'all rolling.
we're rolling. I was
And
at
I
a
say y'all, I can say we on this one too.
yeah, yes. You have enough degrees from Ole Miss. You could say we
We,
as well.
I think that where my Gators fell short, that game should give the Rebels hope that they can run the ball, and if they defense can do anything, because Florida's defense, at first the first 21-3, I was just like, Lord Jesus,
Yeah, the first half of the game.
somebody call 911. This is about to
Yeah,
be a murder. And then the defense, and the man said it, and I was like, yeah, you're right. They had been playing against slower teams, and they had to get they mentals like, okay, wait a minute, this game going faster, and we can go faster. So 10 points in 3 quarters, the last 3 quarters, you can't do better than that. I know there's no moral victories. I was proud of them. Um, Jones is, I want to cheer for him. I don't know the young man, but what I have seen of him and all, I like that he didn't jump into the portal like so many kids were there after they
right.
didn't get to start and knew they weren't going to play for a while. I think, I'm going to say this now because I'm liable to forget. I think, you know how he be late on a lot of them throws that he get them interceptions on? I don't know how much of you watch.
Yeah, enough to know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I think a part of it is, and this is just me deducing from what I know about sports, and he is so laid back. He had that same. He got to take a different energy on the field,
Mhm.
and I think he just be relaxing in the game. Like, but you got to have like a mental. You know how they talk about that mental clock. He'll be just as laid back as he seems to be off the like off the field. Like he'll throw an interception, be like, oh, what? Like it looked like on his expression, be like, oh, well, I messed that up, and then just be like, oops,
Right.
and not hit his helmet or like show any frustration, which is fine. But if you his clock would go probably faster if he had like a different mental energy, and that I mean that probably just gonna take some time for him to be like, okay, I gotta speed up. While I am relaxed, and I do know, I mean, I can run the ball. It don't take like a lot of mental energy for that. You know when you're gonna run, with that spread option. Although on that 2-point conversion, I don't know what that was. I think that was a bad offensive call by Mullins. I
Mhm.
think they should have tried the jump pass or something because there ain't no way y'all didn't know what Bama didn't know y'all was gonna run. But that's proud of it's great to be a Florida Gator. Proud of them. I look forward to seeing the Rebels 2 weeks go against Alabama. Is it in Bama or Mississippi?
It is in Alabama.
Either way, I think they can go out there and win. And with that, with what they run, I don't think the crowd will be as big of a thing, because I'm sure they be on silent counts anyway.
Mhm.
Because that crowd at Florida messed up the young, his name Young, ha ha ha, Young, the young quarterback. Um,
I
because they had some miscues with them in the offensive line.
just not to not to stay on the Florida game, but to when it was 21-3, I felt I patted myself on the back because I thought it was
Uh,
hilarious when no, I didn't think that was lit. I thought it was hilarious how I came up with the perfect gif, whatever you want to call it, to send to you. Do you remember what it was? Because I put it with there that I gave you no context. You you, you just if you knew you knew the Rasheed Wallace gift.
oh Lord, I can't.
As I sent T the Rasheed Wallace gift of him sitting at the podium after they had just gotten blasted when he was in Portland, and he's sitting at the podium and he just kept repeating every question. Both teams played hard. Both teams played hard, and then he ends it with "Thank you and good night." It gets up and
And where
walks
did
off.
you find that? I was like, how do you be finding it? And then you sent the little kid running around talking about let's go.
Let's go. Yes, because
I
when
was
they
like,
were on
where
their way
Brian
back,
find these things?
man. So I have a it's an app that I downloaded on my iPhone
Oh, okay,
that I
okay.
can search different. I mean, anytime anybody creates a GIF, it basically goes to that app.
It's saved.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that
I
was
had
funny.
I had put the 911 call out because I was like, Lord, this is we missing open field tackles. I was like, this is gonna be a long day, but I'm gonna keep watching it. I told my friend in Pennsylvania, I was like, but I'm gonna keep watching it. And then they was like, okay, this is the speed we playing at. I got it. And then Alabama could not stop the run. And then shot themselves in the foot a couple of times. I was proud of the defense too, because I was worried. I was like, this defense coordinator gotta go. But
Yeah.
they showed up the last 3 quarters, unfortunately.
I've actually been pleasantly surprised with our defense this year at Ole Miss. They have definitely done well. Getting new players in there, getting the scheme together.
Well,
Because
I'm gonna
yeah,
tell the Rebels they can't go down 21-3 like we did.
no
We
man,
were at home. That
no,
was helpful.
no, yes, that was
So, but the good thing with them, I'll say, I don't know how fast they are on offense, and I don't know how much first team play against first team on offense defense.
mhm.
But they will. The speed shouldn't be as big of a because of how fast they play on offense. Again, if first team go against first team, and
Well,
because the
and
teams
then
they've been playing ain't been fast either, so it's gonna
right.
be a different speed for them too.
And I think Tulane may have been our best challenge so far, and they could have been a lot. it wound up being a blowout. It could have been a lot better. I saw that coming because Tulane has been living in Birmingham, Alabama since this past hurricane that ravaged New Orleans. So they've been living up there, and they were literally going home to New Orleans for the first time since the hurricane after the Ole Miss game. So I think their guys probably were at the point where we've been on the road this whole time. We just ready to get out of here. And then it wound up being a lightning delay, and the game was late finishing, and it hurt them that their best linebacker was called for targeting early on and was removed from the game.
I know we don't talk about targeting,
Yeah.
but I think who do we send something to make a? I'm sure I can get 1,000,000 votes on targeting shouldn't get you kicked out of the game.
Well,
Like at least get the second one you get kicked out and give it a 50. If you're gonna make a 20-yard penalty, I don't know, but
if you're gonna kick them out, there's like 15 officials that huddle up and talk about this. Why can't they get together and at their discretion? You know what? He was very malicious. And that boy, when he dropped his head, he meant to smash into that
right,
other
like
boy's head.
flagrant 1 and
He
2.
needs to go. He's a 2. That's a flagrant 2. Right? Yeah, like you said, flagrant 1, flagrant 2. But the boy from I'm talking about the Auburn Penn State game. Right there at the end, right there when it was getting crunch time, and they called that boy from Auburn for flagrant for targeting and kicked him out the game. He literally was trying to save a touchdown. He was not doing it maliciously. He just happened to. If he hadn't have done what he did, they would have scored a touchdown. So he was trying to stop the touchdown. And that was not what I call, if you want to do the flagrant 1 and 2 deal, that wasn't a flagrant 2 to me. So that right there is something that the officials need to get together.
Yeah, it seemed like they can be a flagrant 1, 2. 1 you got you get the 15 yards, 2 you get the ejection.
And I understand that they're doing this for the safety of the game, and I understand that piece.
Well, after somebody they already got injured, what does that matter? Like that's not stopping somebody from doing it and injuring somebody.
I know, but yeah. Yeah,
And then you make it even worse. Oh, if it happened in the fourth quarter where they got to sit out why? Most of these kids, some people are malicious. Like you said, you probably can see some. You'd be like, okay, the man was on the ground and he came 10 seconds later. Okay, 3. And then I don't see some people do stupid stuff like that. Okay, maybe he could be ejected. But most of these kids just playing fast, trying to make a hit, and they probably just went to their old because some people they teach you, heads up, see what you hitting and all that. But if you ain't necessarily been taught that, you gonna go back, especially if you kind of doing whatever in high school and now you in college and they trying to change that bad habit. That ain't gonna change overnight. But anyway, I don't like it, and and Florida ain't had no targeting this year. But I just in general think that I shouldn't make a mistake that gets me kicked out of the game because I made a mistake in the first first quarter or second or whatever. Now I don't get to play the whole game. But Penn State, I don't think they're as good as they like they rank number 6. That ain't like they I saw their first game against what's that, Wisconsin? They won the road, was it? Oklahoma? Yeah. I was like, they all right. I mean, they defense solid and defense can carry you, but so far.
I know what's still as nice as ever is that whiteout. I love.
Oh, that's nice. And
oh man.
Speaking of whiteout, Florida Gators are just like the state, so undisciplined. Now they supposed to have on blue. That anybody that saw the game, the color that they were supposed to have on, the fans in the stand should have had on blue. Yeah, it just looked like any day they said wear whatever Gator clothes you got.
If you hadn't told me, I would have never known.
Yeah, you ain't even see a cluster of blue. It was just like go where we gonna wear what we want to wear. I was like, y'all so undisciplined. We still had a whiteout the first game. No, it looked like a regular game. So I'm called AA, the UAA, the University Athletic Association, and tell them don't stop telling them to wear colors because they're gonna wear what they want. Unless y'all literally hand out white T-shirts as they walk in, they may put them on. But other than that, Nah.
That's a
Good
mess.
luck.
They got Ben
Oklahoma,
Hill.
number 4. I don't think they that good. They barely won a couple of games.
Yeah, Tulane almost got them. First
Yeah.
game of the
So,
year.
Alabama is just gonna be number 1 till they get knocked off, and it could be in 2 weeks, people. You heard it here first on the Mackay T Show. Georgia looks solid, and
Yes,
Clemson
Georgia.
don't look good. I don't know how they still number 9. They just don't look good.
They scored 14 points against Georgia Tech.
So, in Notre Dame, they almost lost to a FCS or whatever it's called school. And here they are. Yeah, they undefeated, but they number 12. That Notre Dame is like the Knicks. They are. They living on their name only.
Yeah.
They ain't been really good. And yeah, over you know, they went to the Final Four and played for the championship, and they got drilled.
Yes. Yes,
So
they did.
stop it. Don't come for me with that. For all y'all that want to say that, Notre Dame is living on some name from Rudy. I don't know when were they good. Let's see. When the last time they won something, Brian?
Uh,
Nobody knows. See, that's the bad.
uh back when oh
before
boy,
we came to Earth,
look, Joe Montana and them, and then there was a low, and then there was
they claimed allegedly 1988,
yeah.
but I don't know what a claimed national title means. Don't
That
look
was
like they
back. That
don't
was
won
back
nothing.
when everybody was calling themselves national champions. Yeah,
Oh yeah, they was basing it on who was number 1 at the end of the season.
right.
Foolishness. And before 88 it was 77. I can't.
Because
They ain't
I don't
done it.
even though they got a lot of pub during that time. It was basically like you said off their name. I don't think they were that good when that what was that boy that played for them that had the fake girlfriend.
Oh Lord, yes.
Yes, I don't think they were that good then.
Look, they living off their name. This has got to stop. And they do have a good brand because people, I mean, they still making money and can afford to be independent. Or I think they just under football under a conference for whatever. I don't know why they under a conference. They had their own TV thing on ABC. I don't
Now that
know.
we done dug up my hole, I'm gonna try and dig out of it for a second and just say shout out to Katie Lonergan, SID for the Notre Dame football team. As of
Katie
last
still
year,
there? Go
she got
Gators. Katie was a Gator before she went there.
Katie was a Gator.
Watch out, yeah. If that's the same
Man,
Katie Lonergan, sure
yeah,
was.
that what not that was at Ole Miss.
Katie. I
No,
mean,
no. You think you got your time twisted. Katie was with y'all when Carol was at Ole Miss.
oh Miss. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
my bad.
And then
Okay, got it.
she went to
Hotty toddy.
Kansas, which is like yeah, she went from there to Kansas.
Right, 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 right.
Their football team. That's where she's originally from.
Right,
And
right.
yeah,
Okay.
yes,
I got Carol Ross with the Gators. Okay, yes.
yeah,
Katie,
yeah,
shout
yeah,
out. Hotty
yeah.
toddy.
So she is in her second year as SID for the Notre Dame football team. So call Katie with all your complaints. And,
Katie, I'm calling you. I used to have your number, but I'm sure I can find your email. Katie, look at here. Y'all gonna have to stop living off this name. And I know, you go ahead and take what you need to take. Get your money, Katie. But
do you have anything else you want to talk about with college?
no, I just need to change that targeting rule. And
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about with the NFL. I just want to talk
I know
about
nothing. I glanced at something
uh
yesterday, the Dallas game, and
the games have the teams that did bad in week one look better in week two. Teams that look good in week one look like crap in week two. It's the typical NFL start to the season. Week 3 and 4 is when teams will start get rolling, and we'll start kind of weeding them out and who's going to be the cream of the crop, and we'll start figuring that. Now, last night,
uh-huh.
Baltimore and Kansas City, I was flipping back and forth between that and the Emmys, and that was a beautiful game. That was everything you wanted. It was, in fact, it was so beautiful. and there's so many touchdowns scored and so many just wild plays happening that I was playing my sister-in-law in the fantasy league that we have, and I was coming into that game. All my guys had played, and I didn't do very well, but I was still leading heading into that game. She had Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Tyreek Hill still left to play, and Justin Tucker, the kicker for Baltimore. So I, in my mind, thought I was fixing to lose because no way that they don't, just throw a bunch of passes and find a way to get Tyreek Hill in the end zone or,
Mhm.
something like that. Tyreek Hill and Clyde Edwards-Helaire scored a combined 8 points. And when I woke up and saw that this morning, I went, wow. Because Patrick Mahomes was out there throwing darts. He threw one to Travis Kelsey. He threw one to Demarcus Robinson. And Lamar was out there doing things. Lamar Jackson for Baltimore. That was a beautiful game, and I hope to God they play each other again in the playoffs down the road
Mhm.
because that was fun. That was probably the best game I've seen so far this year. The Saints, and I'm just gonna get to them because I know we have a lot of people from my area that listen to us. And week one, they looked like $1 million. Week two, they look like the old Saints.
Lord.
And you and I were talking. You and I were talking before on air, before we came on air, and about the COVID situation. They got a couple of coaches out and a couple of players, I think, because of contact tracing, had to sit out as well. And I'm hoping I didn't really do a lot of research on it, but and I think at least one was the offensive lineman, but I hope there was a couple more because Jameis was running for his life yesterday. And we all know that Jameis has any kind of duress, then that ain't changed. He throwing that ball right to the other team. I think he threw at least 3 interceptions yesterday.
You
Um,
know how I have feelings about James. I don't want to bring up
oh
past, but
yeah, I understand.
I
Yeah,
have feelings about him. So I now when y'all had Brett, even though Brett out here talking about his daddy was in the military and all this kneeling stuff, I still like I said Brett. What's that man name?
Drew.
Drew.
Hmm.
Uh I still like Drew and them and watching when I did watch a game watching y'all, but I'm a struggle watching him, cheering for him rather.
I jokingly said about halftime yesterday. I said, anybody call Cam Newton yet?
Oh, it's gonna be a bunch of calls. Cause then a bunch of people didn't 2 or 3 people get hurt?
Yep.
He gonna get a job because somebody gonna get hurt. Like that's just how it goes.
I'm gonna tell you where just depending. I don't think it's that serious, but if it turns out to be more serious than I thought, uh,
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, he out here with busted up ribs. He ain't gonna play with that. Cause you can't move your arms, probably can hardly breathe. You ain't gonna be running for your life out
But
there.
he has a lot of weapons, and Will Fuller will be back. Will be make his debut next week officially. If he, week one he was suspended for something that he did either in the off season or last year, and season and week two he was not there for personal reasons. So nobody knows what those personal reasons are. That ain't our business. But if he decides to show up, they already have a bunch of weapons there because Tua has before he got hurt, he was dealing. He had a bunch. He had Jalen Waddle and
Well, the
uh,
problem is, excuse me, cutting you off. Go
you're
ahead.
good.
The problem is, Kim just is not acting.
And hasn't
And
been.
and I
Mm-mm.
know you don't want to get him hurt or whatever, but you got to do what Mullins is doing with Jones.
Designed for him. Yes.
Run, make him run and get out of the pocket. He can still throw it if whatever the play is, move the pocket as they would say. But just he is not a pocket passer. He big enough to take some hits, and he should be savvy enough at this point in his career to know when to hold him and when to fold him.
Which
And
is
so,
why, even though I was joking, I
uh
think New Orleans could be a good spot for him because Sean Payton seems to be the type that can. I mean, he can create an offense for whoever he has, his personnel.
so nobody's been really wanting him to run, and I understand they tried to make his career last, but yeah, this ain't gonna get it. Well, one more thing, Brian. When did not and I'm not trying to stand up for old people or nothing, It's a beautiful thing to get older. And how did 40 and 37 and all but start to be old?
Yeah. Listen,
Cause LeBron and Tom,
the
he
things that those two are doing are proving that age. Y'all just making it older than it really is, because they are proving that, even here at these they want to call them the twilight years. They not even they ain't even got gray hair yet. I
well,
mean,
I think they both have it. They probably using. Hold on, wait for it. That midnight cocoa bean.
well, we know LeBron is, because his
What movie?
hairline took a
What
turn.
movie, Brian? That you using that midnight cocoa bean?
Oh my god!
It just came out.
I
Well,
know. I'm
not
finna,
just Bad Boys for Life.
yes,
You
I
using
was
that
looking at
midnight
Martin
cocoa bean?
Lawrence.
But yeah, I think like what's his name? That's the dunker. He played till he was 40. He was still solid. He wasn't no superstar, but he wasn't out there just like, bro, you need to sit down.
And Lord knows he wasn't. And Vince Carter was not getting up like he was before,
But
but
he still could dunk
and
and he
and,
still could shoot
and was
and
contributing.
contribute.
Yeah,
Right. He wasn't just there like, oh, off his name only. Um,
he had become the Andre Iguodala role when he come in there.
right.
Yeah,
And if you I think though, I don't know about Tom Brady's diet or workout regimen. I
mm,
think though, for these young like Zion and all them, y'all should be talking to LeBron as much as possible, saying like, okay, I see what you're doing, but let's have a conversation, because he live by the motto that I tell you all the time, or I've said quite often. It's easier to stay in shape than get in shape. And
yes,
when you keep going down to zero and then have to work so hard to get in shape, that increases your chances of being injured. But
mm,
if you stay in some area of in a good, solid physical conditioning, then you don't put all that wear and tear trying to grind to get in good shape and then trying to keep it and then let it fall off. So I think in his diet, now we know it ain't the best, at least now, because we know he drink wine and he loved tequila and he smoked cigars. But for the most part, I think he's, eating well.
yes,
Um, Taco Tuesdays. I ain't got nothing against tacos. But yeah,
yes.
take care of your little body. It'll last.
Trying to
Speaking of that, one more thing. We're going back to Florida just because.
go
Did you see
ahead.
Dan Mullen out there surfing? What? I don't know what. It wasn't surfing. Waterboarding or something.
Oh my goodness, no,
No, he was doing it. He was
no.
doing it, and he did a 360, and I was like, "You been out here, all right, then. You been out here keeping your body in shape, cause to stay on that pad on that water. First of all, I ain't never surfed, but I'm pretty sure I would fall every time. Uh, I have no doubt. And he was riding that wave, and then he spun around. He said it took a lot. He was doing a lot of practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, then get in shape and stay in shape. Don't be out here with the big belly like some of these coaches. Like they just let themselves go.
You
Like they
made me
don't even
think of
care.
you made me think of something else. Eli's places, Peyton places was for the past 2 seasons it's been ESPN Plus show
Hmm.
where he was going around, doing NFL things. It started out leading up to NFL 100, the NFL 100th year, but it was so popular they brought it back for a second season, where he just went around and did, talk to NFL legends and about different parts of the game. Well, Eli's Places takes you all through college football, and the whole deal is he's supposed to be going back to school to learn about college football. And
Hmm.
this past week, he went to Nick Saban's house,
Oh Lord.
and it was hilarious. The whole people, if you have ESPN Plus, you need to go check it out. He they it was like he was on spring break and he was renting out Saban's little cabin out there by the lake and everything.
Hmm.
And and Eli and Peyton and Cooper, their brothers, came apparently they tore the house up. They you don't see it, but they talk about tearing the house up. Well, when you talk about uh the little Borden, there's a moment on there where they take the raft out, and Saban has this raft that's attached to his boat, and the legend is all of his players that he's ever had that play for him at Alabama come out there, and he tries every way in the world to throw him off the raft, just playing with him. There's only one player in the history of his time at Alabama he was not able to throw off the raft, and that was Terrence Cody, the big lineman. I think he wound up playing with Baltimore for a few years before he got thrown in jail for alligator negligence.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, he had a bunch of exotic animals.
I've seen I don't know if somebody did a little story on them. He Nick Saban seemed like he just the worst, and he probably is. But the kids look like they had fun. I don't know if it was a
Mhm.
documentary, but they were out at it was showing their preseason.
Yeah,
And I don't know if we saw the same one or not, but they went out. He got a nice little spread and all.
I know what you're talking about. I've
He
seen what.
was feeding them, and they was in the house hanging out, and like you said, he had them on whatever, put that boat pulling them, and I
Uh,
was like, okay, he ain't out here scowling and losing his mind all the
yeah, and
time.
ranting and raving like you see him on the sidelines. Um, but no, I bring up Eli to say this, for because it's Monday Night Football's coming. For y'all that did not watch last week's Monday Night Football, and in the telecast, they on ESPN2 they have Peyton and Eli doing their own little thing. I mean, they're talking about the game, they're showing the game, but they have guests on, and just different little funny things, because those two are just like almost a nerd like, but they're funny, when they're together and having a
Mhm.
good time. I, if you like just watching the game and you want the regular broadcast, that I understand. That's fine. But if you're the type that would enjoy something like this, it was worth turning to ESPN2 and checking out. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did not flip back to the regular broadcast one time. Charles Barkley came on there. They had Russell Wilson on there. Russell Wilson actually stayed on for an extended time. He went into the overtime and everything. So yeah, it was a good show, and I hope they do even better this week. I think the numbers were decent,
Mhm.
so yeah, interesting.
So yeah, well, what if ifs was
What
fifths, we all be drunk.
if? What if indeed? We left off when T'Challa had become Star Lord. That was our last episode that we
That was
talked about.
episode what, two?
Two. So episode 3 through 6. Episode 3 was when the world lost. What if the world lost its mightiest heroes? Where Hank Pym was going and taking off the Avengers
We
one
didn't know
by
who was
one.
taking them out at first. We
Yeah,
was
we
like,
had no
what was
idea, but
happening?
when they threw that switch at us, I was like, I honestly could see that possibly had really happened back, because they did Hank Pym dirty. They were constantly trying to take his formula, and way back, and his wife,
But I don't think it was the Avengers.
no, but he was just in a bit of rage. I could see that happening, like he could take it out on them. But yeah, they tried to take his formula. His wife they assumed died, but as we find out later on,
Better that she brought something back.
she was stuck. She was stuck in the quantum realm. So yeah, I could see that possibly if being because
I didn't. I was just like, I know he can get small and all, but okay, he don't put something in. Did he inject himself into to the Iron Man?
I think so. I think just like but it wasn't. I don't think it was his wife that died in the show. I think his daughter had died
Yeah,
in the What If. Yeah, I think that made him even more enraged, I guess.
well, yeah, because then we gonna talk about it in a second. Because the wife came back with the virus.
Yes, she did. I forgot.
um, but I just was like, I don't like this, And it's not that I don't want them to die and all that. Obviously, wouldn't want them to die, but I
Right.
was like, I don't know. I don't like this. But whatever. I was like, where are we going with this one? What road this lead to?
Yeah, I can't wait to see how they tied it because they're supposed to tie them all in to the actual main MCU. Now that we're fixing to have the multiverse explode, so I'm waiting to see how they bring all these in. I mean, the Doctor Strange one, which was the next episode, I think episode 4, where he had lost his heart instead of his hands, where he couldn't, you
He
know,
couldn't let go of the girl that he
yeah,
talked to like a dog
in the movie,
in
yeah,
the movie and treated her
uh,
like dirt. Now he's so emotionally distraught when he had an accident and she actually is in the car with him.
there is a rumor that in Doctor Strange 2, she is getting married to someone besides him. So we could see,
He
uh,
might feel some kind of way.
yeah, we could see an enraged Doctor Strange.
I don't know if
Ooh,
he's gonna be enraged because you're just so cool and calm,
mm.
but he might put a spell on you.
There are people that think in the new Spider-Man trailer that is not our Doctor Strange. That there's a Doctor Strange from another universe,
Another
a
uh,
multiverse,
he a variant.
a variant. Good call. Yes, yes, yes.
Ah, that's it.
So because they have nothing but the trailer to go on at this point, so they just kind of deduce him because because he's not, all throughout the movies he was real calm and collected, and he wasn't gonna make the bad mistake. He wasn't gonna, he waited till the last second to give up the time stone and all that. And here we are in this trailer, we see him just willing to cast this spell, even though it might cause all kind of problems, and he just willy nilly gonna cast a spell to make everybody forget Peter
Willy nilly.
Parker.
I think a part of it though, you have to say, well, why wouldn't he do what he did with the stone and go sit and meditate and see all the variations of what could happen if he
Hmm.
does this? Um, but who knows? So if he may be a variant.
The next episode was the zombie episode. You and I both agreed that we just not a fan of zombies. uh,
Yeah, no,
I know there's a place for it. I know it was big comic book run, and if you like that type of thing, that's fine. Yeah, that's not. It wasn't for me.
I was just like, this is dumb, but okay. I watched it and I was like, okay, this was okay, whatever. Like, okay, whatever.
But the last one we've had, I really enjoyed the what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark.
Ah,
Uh, yeah, I'm
and
glad,
he, ah, the master manipulator.
and I didn't see it coming. I really thought they were fixing to turn him into a good person, and make him,
I didn't think that, but I didn't see where they went. Go ahead.
right. I did not see him, getting, manipulating his way, and uh, basically he became the new Iron Man. Because there was no Iron Man. Tony Stark got rescued, so
Right, because
he had
Tony
no
got
reason.
rescued, didn't have the. It wasn't an epiphany. I don't even know what you call it.
Right, he had to build some machine to get him out of that hole.
Right, and he
He,
saw the death and destruction, and that man talked to him about everything that was going on with him and his weapons, which
yeah.
touched his heart. So that didn't happen. So he stayed arrogant, Tony,
And his
and
arrogance got in the way of this
and
because
they
he
let
never saw it
Killmonger
coming.
give him the idea of building the Iron Man, or they didn't call it Iron Man, but
No,
some.
they called it something else, but basically it was an Iron Man suit. Pepper was suspicious all throughout the episode, but
And
and
she
how
should
about
have been.
we never got? I
And
mean, Happy didn't get his promotion because Killmonger got
no,
put in Happy's spot.
yep. Killmonger did get the. I mean, Happy did get the punch old boy
Yes,
because
he
they
did.
still let Zebediah go down.
Yeah, yeah, Zebediah. Oh, Obadiah. Yeah,
Obadiah, yeah,
Obadiah went
Obadiah.
down.
They still let Obadiah go down. I did. I I thought that he was gonna kill the king,
Me
Remember when
too.
they was?
I
I was
thought the
like,
Chaco was
okay,
gonna die.
he on the he wanted to look at the sunrise. I was like, he gonna kill him right here,
Right.
but he didn't. He stayed informed. So I'm curious to see, cause now he the Black Panther. Gave him that elixir at the end, and I was like, he set it up so that they could beat the robots that he let in and turn back on. I'm interested to see what the next what if is gonna be. How many they having? 10? Do you know?
10, but they're gonna have a second season that's gonna involve like some of the TV shows that we've seen, and it's gonna be a bunch of different things. I'm trying to
Okay.
see if I can find out what the seventh one is gonna be about.
So yeah, the Killmonger one and what Black Panther one where he becomes the warlord or whatever you call him.
Star-Lord.
Star Lord.
Yeah.
That those are my two favorites.
Yeah,
Oh, I
those
like
two.
the first one too. I like the first one where
Captain Carter.
Captain Carter come.
She's supposed to make her appearance in the new Doctor Strange movie coming out, so that will be interesting.
One thing I do enjoy about, I guess all of them have some comedic. It ain't really comedy relief, but it's some funny parts in all of them.
Right.
Killmonger. Oh, I see how you got your name.
Oh man.
So that was nice.
Let's see. I guess to wrap up, do you have any sayings that make no sense?
It's not necessarily that they make no sense. We just curious because we know what they mean.
I don't know
right?
why I always said it that way. I've been saying it that way since we started that segment, and yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, but we know what they mean. We don't know who came up with this. So I'm getting to my now. I heard this one twice. Huh?
I apologize, people. T had to go digging because it's been 2 months since.
Yeah, I had to dig them out of my phone because I had to keep them close because stuff be, either. And I said this one, and then I heard somebody else say it. Lo and behold, I couldn't. Brian, what's lo and behold?
I do
people
like
said, you know why people said, Brian. Lo and behold, Killmonger had something up his sleeve. What? I don't know. But it's something we say all the time.
It is.
It's curious. It's a curious case of Benjamin Buttons.
I'm just glad you caught when I said William Italy a while ago.
Yeah, I heard it. And I'm gonna shake a stick at it. What, Brian?
The only time I can see that coming into play is my grandmother, who is old school. Every time we have our golden doodle, who don't listen very well, and especially when he wants to go and explore, he might take off and she'll take a stick and she'll shake it in his direction, and he come running because he don't want to get hit by that stick. So,
Lord have mercy. They just live a hop, skip, and a jump down there, but right. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump. Just
and depending on how athletic you are, that could be very close.
Or how unathletic you are, that could be like nowhere. Which the point is, it's nowhere, right?
Exactly.
But a hop, skip, and a jump. Brian, I don't know, but the proof is in the pudding.
I ain't never found it, and I eat a lot of pudding.
The proof is in the pudding. Now, I don't know what that is, why that is, and if somebody was out here selling some bad pudding and the proof was in tasting it or something, I'm not sure. But you just shake a stick at it, and lo and behold, it'll all work out.
That is all you do with it.
Just shake a stick. I don't know. I gotta save some for next week. But yeah. And it sometimes my phone don't be close enough, and I'll say something, but like, oh, that's something I don't grab from the universe. And if I think about it, I'm not sure what we doing.
I can't.
So
That's
yeah,
definitely become.
shake a stick at it.
Oh, speaking of, I meant to say this last time, but I have it written down here to say if you have any sayings that you just don't know where they come from, please send them to us at the Mac and T Show, the Mac T Show on Twitter and Instagram, and the Mac letter N T Show at gmail.com for our email. So please send them to us. And yeah. So it's the Mac T Show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Search all three of those, you'll find us. And the Mac letter N T Show at gmail.com is the email address. Let us know if you have any sayings that you probably said them your whole life and just don't know where they come from. And you'd like us to read them here on the show.
Well, this my last. This a pop up because I just thought about it. Did you see
Okay.
the cat that almost fell out of the
At the Miami
at
game.
the game?
Oh, God.
Brian, I got so many questions. Like, how did the cat get there?
That's not the first cat we've seen at a sporting event. How do these cats keep getting these in these and
Well, this one was in a strange place.
he was just he just popped out and was hanging out of nowhere.
Right, you just be like, did somebody like how?
I have no
How did
answer.
the cat get there? Then, okay, when people saw the cat, like, did the cat fall from off of the little ledge and then caught and was hanging? Cause we have no video footage of that.
Right.
Like you just see the cat hanging by one paw
Exactly.
and a couple of claws. And the cool part, did you see the cat? If you watch it again, anybody that look it up, when the cat is falling, you know how when they teach you how to jump out of the plane and tell you like put your arms straight and your legs back
Yes.
to fall. The cat did that.
It did. Yes,
If
it
you
did.
see it,
Yeah.
and I didn't catch it the first time, but then I was like, oh, the cat knew how to open up. So I guess it'll slow it down. It might have landed on his feet, but the problem was I'm glad they had the flag there because it didn't have like a flat landing surface. So you might have broke up something that landed in a chair or on the railing. But yeah, the cat situation was interesting. I don't
That
say
was
so.
that was definitely something to talk about. They yeah, I don't understand how these cats keep doing this.
But yeah, I'm like, did the cat just find its way into the stadium? Cause it might be one of what's the Cleveland Browns quarterback?
Baker.
I don't care for Baker and his football, but
Them
I love them
commercials are fun.
commercials.
Them commercials are fun. I will give it to you.
It might be Baker's cats, and that I don't know if one of y'all watching it, do a commercial where he got cats and he feeds some cats.
Yes, there need to be I can't think of the
Is it State Farm or somebody? Is it an insurance company or
I
something?
cannot think of the company that is
But
for, but yes.
when Brian, when he was carrying the groceries in, when you try to get all the bags
He had them
and drop
all, and
one. I
he was
like,
not
that's
playing
it.
around. He gonna carry them all in there.
That is it. You out here, you trying to make one trip because you don't want to go back to the car, and you get to the door and then realize, one of the bags dropped, and then you like, I gotta transfer these to another hand because I need to get this key in the door and open.
So many problems.
So
Well, that's gonna be a wrap on today's episode.
it's
As
Progressive,
always,
not State Farm. I'm sorry, it's
Progressive.
Progressive.
Thank you. As always, I am one of your hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T. Keep Hope Alive Davis.
Rest in peace, Mary, and
Mary Erlene.
Mary Erlene.
She's an ancestor, y'all.
And I don't know.
The road we all must trod.
And I'm just gonna leave it at this. I don't know. And this is how I ended my speech the other day. I said I don't know where I'm going, but my time down here is complete. But I'm gonna be okay as long as you're there saving me a seat. Miss you, my friend.
This is the Mac and T Show. This is the Mac and T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah, you can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mac and T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mac and T Show.